Hello everybody. In today's video we will be working on the Minolta SRT-101 model. So this camera came to us with a distinct problem where once you wind the film lever, it causes the mirror to come up. Okay, it frees the winding lever. You can still advance the film, but you can distinctly see that the mirror never comes down. So I haven't looked at the camera yet. I haven't evaluated anything on it. So we're going to basically dive into the problem together and see what's causing it. I have my suspicions, pardon me, but whether or not I'm right, it will be determined once we start opening it up step by step. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the bottom cover and remove these two screws. The light meter I've tested is perfectly fine, right on target. So our problem is now figuring out this mirror issue. Okay, it still does that. Let's take a look at the shutter. And I see that these curtains look suspiciously loose. There has to be a little more tightness to them, but I do see a slight a degree of waviness, so to speak, that tells me that they may need to be tightened up a little bit. So but what we'll do is we're gonna start by lubricating certain points here in this camera and see if it rectifies this problem. And if it does, perfect. And if it doesn't, we'll continue figuring it out. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this battery wire. Now I do see a problem actually now that I'm looking at it. This master gear that's supposed to rotate as we wind the lever has some broken gears here. Okay, this is an old style plastic gear that is not really reliable, and I can clearly see that some of these gears are broken off. I wonder if that is the problem. So let's go ahead and remove this spring and see if we can replace this gear and ultimately fix this issue. Okay. It's a little tricky to remove, not too bad this time, but you can clearly see that some of these gears are badly chewed up and broken, quite frankly. So this is a useless gear. So if you give me a moment, I'm gonna go ahead and grab another spare camera I have, and we'll remove a gear from there. All right, so here I have another spare with a perfectly good gear. Let's go ahead and borrow it from here. Okay. Okay, let's inspect the gear. Yeah, everything looks okay, and you can actually tell if I put them side by side here, the old and the new gear. The old gear uses a different type of plastic. It's more susceptible to damage, I would say, versus this newer style that has some sort of a softer material in it that is not as brittle as the plastic one. Okay, in any case, let's go ahead and swap it. See if it made a difference. Position it in the same way as the old one was before we removed it. Okay, we may need to adjust it if it doesn't work, but hopefully it does. Let's put the washer on top. Okay, looks like it's in. Well, it didn't resolve our problem here, clearly, okay, but nevertheless, it has the good gear in place. So what I'll do next, let me position my spring back here. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. I have to reshape it slightly. What do you know? All right, as soon as we have the spring back, which actually makes sense, it pulls this lever back, which it wasn't before without the spring being placed. It is now doing its job and dropping that mirror perfectly fine. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and continue with what we were doing before. I'll go ahead and lubricate the necessary points here, and we'll progress with the rest of the repair, and rather overhaul, because repair is pretty much done. Okay, looks like there's quite a bit of corrosion as well on the battery contact, which we'll have to file off, put a fresh solder and a new wire. got a new piece of wire here. I'll trim it a little bit here. Okay, so what I'll do next, I'm gonna go ahead and check the shutter speeds, adjust them real quickly if need be, and I'll be right back. Yes, shutter timing was a little bit off. The speeds were accurate enough, but the run time was not. So I've adjusted it. It's spot on right now. And we can go ahead and close up the bottom portion because we're not gonna revisit it at this point. And move on to replacing seals, and then we'll open up the top cover and perform the rest of the cleaning. I usually like to, with these older cameras, I like to replace seals, cushions, clean it, and then open the top cover and dust off the prism, because if I do it after the fact, and you know, there's some dust and debris that tends to go back into the prism, and I'd like to avoid opening up the top cover twice, because that's the only way to clean the prism, is to open the top cover and get into it that way. So that's what we'll do today. Okay, let's take a look here. of the old light seals. Sometimes it comes off as an entire string, and sometimes it just crumbles as you try to remove it, so it really depends. So it really is important for us as a repair facility to evaluate the camera, and it's very difficult for us just to go off of the symptom. This symptom of flipping or non-returning mirror could have been caused by at least 3 different possible scenarios, and this right here, the broken gear, is actually one of the least likely scenario that I can think of. It does happen, but it's not really common. So that's basically down to, you know, looking at the camera and really seeing what could be causing a problem versus just saying, yes, this is the cause of the problem, and let's go ahead and get into this. How you get in trouble: you fix something that you think is the cause of the problem, but it doesn't resolve the issue. And sometimes it does temporarily, and in the long run it comes back. And it would have in this case. Okay, so externally I think we're really are in good shape. So now we'll disassemble the rest of the camera from the top, clean the viewfinder, and we should be good to go. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna secure this ASA assembly so it doesn't untangle as I'm working on the camera. All right. It's pretty dusty. Couple more dust particles to deal with. That's a problem with these older cameras. There's always dust comes from somewhere. In this case, it's probably from the prism. That's perfect. Okay, so this right here is a slow speed governor. The shutter speeds are accurate, but it wouldn't hurt to lubricate these gears here. I wouldn't even say it wouldn't hurt. We have to lubricate them. To make sure it continues to work. All right, now we can safely put it back together. Yeah, these flathead screws are a pain in the butt. For some reason they do not respond to magnetized screwdriver. It makes it that much more difficult to control them. But that's what they used to use before, because it looks like it's an older variant of a Minolta SRT-101. Just judging by the type of screws that they use, as well as that master gear material, rather, of the master gear that we replaced earlier. And last but not least, we've got this front screw. Put a little bit of lubricant here. Perfect. And this is our camera. Thank you for watching.